Hey, this is Brian. Um, so this is probably one of the more entertaining um, spam slash scam emails I've seen. I'll tell you why. Well, first off, how do I know it's a scam or spam? Businesses, well, especially big institutions like the International Monetary Fund, don't use weird no-name domains like @vac.com. Um, anyway, and also the language in here is a little suspicious, but the International Monetary Fund doesn't really do personal finance, and this email is clearly not related to a business, so yeah. I'm not entitled to receive payment, or nor do I have any kind of interaction with the International Monetary Fund as an individual. So that, yeah, that's just kind of funny. So more broadly, though, why this is entertaining to me is, the International Monetary Fund is, quote unquote a private institution, but if you read books like Confessions of an Economic Hitman, the author discusses how um, companies like that allegedly um, were involved in some um, less than ethical practices involving the U.S. government. Um, he uses the example of Indonesia and some other examples of other countries, including Latin American countries. Um, that were exploited. Basically, the gist of it is, the company that he worked for, which is no longer in existence, it was called Maine, would you know have these engineering packages for stuff like infrastructure programs, and World Bank and IMF. I can't remember what he describes in his book, but anyway, those were financial institutions, and they would lend these governments money um, at either these one the packages that were being sold were just not necessary. Two, the cost was kind of unreasonable. The expectation was that this loan would be accepted by the foreign government and effectively used to extort that government, like, oh yeah, you owe us this money, but or the U.S. government might say, oh, we hear you've got this financial trouble with the IMF or World Bank, and oh, you know, we might be able to help you with that. Maybe if you look favorably at this resolution in their next UN meeting or whatever, something like that. Anyway, so because of that historical context, I think this is interesting because maybe the person that wrote this email, maybe he did it for entertainment value, he, she, whatever. But I thought it was interesting, or maybe they're from a country that was affected. That's the 202 area code is a Washington D.C. area code, but um, yeah, Hans Blix. I don't think he's with the IMF anymore. Um, yeah, considering you know his age, I think he's what 95. Yeah, there's just so many things that are fundamentally wrong with that. Anyway, there's more on the IMF. Yes, I'm using Wikipedia. Reliable source, right? Most of the time. Okay, some of the time. But yeah, you know, I don't think that this person's going to get any success with that. I mean, that's probably a VoIP number. If I called that, it'd probably, go to some other offshore connection. And who knows what kind of scam it actually is. I'm not going to find out. But at the very least, I found this to be entertaining, um, simply because of some of the literature I've read before, and you know some of the history of the last century, how that ties in. Anyway, yeah, that's my take. Anyway, have a good one.